So I went back and looked at our exploded view with the numbers that in position. So 2 and 1 is the bracket, so I've got some misnaming, and the other piece is 5. So when I look at these, go ahead and bring the names up. So the wheel support is actually what I'm calling the wheel, and then the support arm is actually what I call the wheel support. So we don't just, it's not going to be a best practice to just rename these out of Windows by doing the click and click or coming down to rename. In the SOLIDWORKS tools, we can do a rename, and it will keep track of where this is used. This is especially important in the top-down or in the multi-body where there's those external references. So now I got to remember what I was going to call this. All right, so the wheel support becomes the support arm. And because I haven't put this into an assembly and there's no references, I'm not going to see anything. So this is more about just verifying that we're not going to have any downstream issues. All right, so then right-click and SOLIDWORKS, rename, and this becomes my wheel support. All right, so I can go back and pick those items up. Now the problem is if I go to open one of these, and it's in my recents. All right, so that one might open as the other one, which is and the wheel not found. All right, so basically they're reversed. So I just have to go back, and if I go through the process, it'll pick up. So if this was in an assembly, a bottom-up assembly, and I did that rename, in that case, all I'd have to do is open up the correct one. All right, so my next geometry is going to be, and let's go ahead and figure this one out. All right, so item 11, and item 11 is the stationary arm. Not seeing any real issues with the geometry, so we'll go front plane. None of those dimensions really help me very much with the length of the other with the missing dimensions. So I just kind of keep an eye. And actually this one's missing the same dimension, so there you go. Alright, so we'll make that up as we go. So let me go ahead and out to 375 from there to there. I might be able to get 0.75, which would bring that up to 3, which would give me 4.5. Alright, and again, these are adjustable. We don't have to make any final decisions right now. We're just going to get it as close as we can and figure it out as we go. Okay, so 1.5. The choice is, do we want to treat the slot and the through hole as separate? No major geometries. Put the fillets on the outside. I don't see any problem with going ahead. So go into the dimension, 0.875. Location 0.875, and since it's going to be at the center line, we'll just go ahead and pick the midpoint and the center and make those horizontal. Alright, so going back into select, I can stretch and reposition these a little bit. Full radius, so this one has a 0.941. And its location, its overall, will be 2.25. So in the last slot that I did, so here's that pesky why we would want to pick the arcs. So since the last one I picked the arcs, and I believe I just picked the center line, I don't get the end-to-end, so I have to do math. Alright, so I'd have to figure out the half of the 0.941 dimension, and then subtract that from the 2.25 to come up with those numbers. However, if I go shift and pick the arc and shift to pick the arc, it will automatically go to that max in condition. Alright, so back to 2.25. If I just pick the arcs, I could go back into linear and I'll see max, min, and whatever combinations will give me a desired result. Alright, so let's go 1.5. And that was also to the end of the arc. So let's check. So if I look at the minimum distance, alright, changed my number, or changed my location, and changed my number. Alright, so those are looking pretty good. And I think I'll do the 3 holes with the whole location. So I got out of it before I did my extrude. This is going to be 0.25. Alright, so S key and hole wizard. Since I'm not set to rotate into position, pick the geometry, pick up the hole. And these are going to be 0.25 through all. And the position will go 1, 2, 3. And didn't really give us dimensions from the side, so we'll pick all 3 of the points and make them vertical first. And usually it would, it did. I say I didn't see it pop up over on the left, but I didn't give it enough of a chance. We'll right click and select midpoint, select the point, and that becomes horizontal. And then between the two, 0.5, and between those two, 0.5. Alright, and then for our position, 0.375 off the edge. Alright, so that goes fully defined, and we can accept. And then last one was the 632 on center. So another S key, the hole wizard, pick up our threaded hole location, grab the 632, and this will be an up to next, right, for the location. Since I didn't do a like a mid-plane or an on-center, I'll just draw a center line from midpoint to midpoint. And I was looking for the dimension, but I can come back and put that at the midpoint, and that will stay centered and centered on the part. So the outside two are going to be a fillet of 0.25, and we accept that one, and the other side is going to be a radius of 0.5. And we can grab the pop-up box. I can enter the value in line and accept, and then we'll save. This will be the stationary arm.